Hi, it's Gretchen Dixon, a product specialist at SOLABS. In this video, we'll show you how to create a training activity that is set for recurrence based upon document revision. By doing that, you can create training associated with your documents and have that training be recreated automatically every time that document is revised. Let's take a look at how to do that. I'm logged in as a user who has the SOLABS training administration role. The first thing I need to do is to create a curriculum. In a separate article and video titled "What is a Curriculum" in SOLABS QM10, we talk about the fact that the curriculum is where you define the default settings for your planned training activities. When you're planning to create a training activity linked to a document, one of those default settings is to choose recurrence based on document revision. So the first thing I need to do when I'm planning this is to create my curriculum. So first I will give it a name. And choose my category. In this case, I plan a training activity related to a document, so I'm simply going to choose Read and Confirm from my list of categories. This is a custom list that can be managed by you. I then have the option to describe my training activity, and the start date and create date will default to today. We do recommend leaving the end date blank. It acts as an expiry date. So if you want this training activity to be available for future users, leave that date blank. Here is our recurrence setting. So it defaults to no recurrence, and we want to change that to document revision. When we do that, we see a number of new fields come up. First, we have to decide whether the new training activities created upon recurrence will be linked to a profile or a function role. So that is the default. I will leave it there. Next, how do you want the assignment to behave after the new training activity is created? If you are linking training activities to a function role in order to establish required training for that function, you'll probably choose Assign based on profile for the future revisions of those documents. There are other options. Please refer to the Training Administration User Guide and other articles in our knowledge base for these other options. We do recommend leaving the default status after creation as not started. That allows you to go in and set due dates for the new future revision of this document and make any other changes that may be necessary. Because you're choosing recurrence based on document revision, you need to choose the curriculum document. That is the document that, when revised, will trigger the recurrence. It can only be one document. You can have as many training activities recur based upon revision of that document, but there can only be one curriculum document. You can search for it by document name or control number. When I start typing that in, I find my document. Now I have linked that document as the one which, when revised, will trigger recurrence. And then I will choose the completion requirements. This is common with any curriculum and was covered in the previous video on what is a curriculum in SOLABS QM10. Because I have chosen end user confirmation, I will leave this at end user confirmation. You also will have the option when you create the training activity to possibly link it to a question mark on demand online assessment or a paper assessment, but typically for document related training, end user confirmation is what you'll choose. I'll go ahead and submit that. I don't need trainers since this is just a read and understand. So what we have just done is create the curriculum, which again is the default settings for the training activities. Now that I've done that, we see training activities create. We'll go ahead and click create for the training activity itself. I'm going to choose to name it the exact same thing as the curriculum because I only plan to have this one training activity in here. It's defaulting to the choices I made at the curriculum. Read and confirm, not started. I can add a video if that's appropriate, and I can fill in these optional fields if I would like to. So I could describe it, I could put in a purpose, and this quick text list is again a custom list you can create in order to quickly fill in these fields if you would like to. We're defaulting to today's date now for the training activity as well, and here are the settings that I made at the curriculum. As mentioned, you can decide to link an online assessment from On Demand. If you do that, you would click yes and choose the assessment that you had created in On Demand. You can take a look at our other video on creating training activities without recurrence and see a little bit more about this section here. I'm going to go ahead now, and the one other thing that I can set for a training activity related to a document is whether or not I'd like my author of the document or the author and the approvers of the document to get automatic training credit for this training activity. So I'll choose author only. Since they wrote it, they are probably an expert on it. Now I will go ahead and submit and confirm. I now have a brand new training activity related to this curriculum called Control of Laboratory Notebooks. It is not yet assigned to anyone. Please refer to our separate article and related video on training activity assignments in order to see the various options for assigning this training activity. I hope that helped you see how you can easily set up training activities to recur based upon revision of documents when you have document-related training, like for your SOPs. Until next time, this is Gretchen Dixon, a product specialist at SOLABS. Please refer to our knowledge base for training on all aspects of the use of QM10.